Hello, and welcome back to my full playthrough of Arkham Horror, The Scarlet Keys. When last we left off, we were in Buenos Aires, and Corm and San Diego just made complete and utter fools of ourselves. So, we're going to try to pick ourselves up from that fiasco. And we are going to go to... We are in Buenos, so we might as well go to Rio. Always wanted to go to Rio. Why not? And let us see. There's a little event here. We can add 1 time to the track. We are quickly running out of time. Rio is 44-0. Let's see what happens. Let's see. You may read this at any time. Profile. Prominent zoologist has published several surveys regarding disappearing wildlife. Zoologist claims entire species and the memory of their existence are being erased. Possible disturbance. Okay. Yeah, this seems like something we want to investigate, so let's spend some time here. Theory of annihilation. As your ship puts into port at Rio de Janeiro, you see a massive hollow statue under construction on Corcovado Mountain overlooking the city. The statue is vaguely humanoid, its arms spread wide and welcome. Or it's a warning. Check the campaign log. If the cell met Dr. Irwin, unless... We have not met Dr. Irwin, I know that. So yeah, we're going to do whatever resolution Theory of Annihilation 4. Theory of Annihilation 4. After some searching, you find Dr. Irwin in the Belmont Copacabana, seated at the table covered in sketches and academic glamour. After introducing yourself, you ask about her research. Oh, I see you're here to mock me, she says, closing a worn survey journal. You tell her you aren't, and after some coaxing, she opens up to you. I'm actually glad you missed my lecture, she says. It was an utter disaster. I was laughed out of the auditorium when I tried to present. Someone called me a cryptozoologist. You tell her that there are worse insults. That may be, Dr. Irwin adjusts her large round spectacles, but for my career it is a death knell. She turns to a beautifully detailed sketch of a bird roosting in a palm tree. I presented what I'm calling the theory of annihilation, the world devouring itself. Not just itself, but the memory of itself, the fact of its very existence. She takes a sip of strong, dark coffee. Several years ago, I surveyed the Amazon with a half a dozen other well-known academics. We observed dozens of distinct species of macaw and named each after a stone, turquoise, amethyst, obsidian, the like. But now, she turns to several empty pages. There's no trace or record of any of them. My colleagues tell me I made up the turquoise macaw and the others. There's no trace of them in the habitat either, and the sketches have disappeared as well. You assure Dr. Irwin that she is not mad and share what little you can about the disappearances. Thank you, says Dr. Irwin. I'm glad we met. I was beginning to think this was all in my head. She gives you her business card with the address of a university in Australia written on the back. I'll be in Perth to continue my survey and my next lecture. Perhaps I will see you there. In your campaign log, record the cell met Dr. Irwin. Each investigator earns 1 experience as they gain insight into strange happenings around the world. Okay. And we may embark. Okay. So we're going to go to Lagos. Finally get rid of these stupid weaknesses in our deck, hopefully. Lagos is 37M. Special delivery. If the cell is delivering Foundation intel, you are in Lagos. Skip to special delivery 4. Okay, after putting into port, you find a warehouse marked with 39O and a logo of a red lion, per the instructions given to you by the Foundation. Once inside, you deliver Commissioner Taylor's documents to a steely-eyed operative who thanks you before melting into the shadows. In your campaign log, cross off the cell is delivering intel. Okay. Each investigator moves 1 copy of Foundation. Yes, choose any number of tokens in the Chaos bag. Replace it with a number token of a value 1 higher. You may replace a 0 token with a +1 token. Or any number. That's amazing. Okay. So first, let's get rid of these weaknesses. That's been clogging. It's been especially clogging up Amanda's hand. I don't think Daryl has even seen it yet. So we're losing a 0 to get a +1. We're losing a -2 to get a -1. We're losing 3 -1s to get 3 zeros. I don't know if there's a limit, but hey, we're throwing them in there. Okay, we're losing another 0 to get another +1. We're losing a -2 to get a -1. A -4 to get a -3. And a -3 to get a -2. Okay. Good run on intel there. We could go to Marrakesh. That's an encounter, isn't it? 11B. Did heat Marrakesh? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, let's just do it. We are going to Marrakesh. Marrakesh, 11B. Do I want to spend any... Amanda's got 1 experience. I don't think that's anything. Daryl's got 2, though. Okay, we are going to Marrakesh. There is not a whole lot of places here. Okay, Marrakesh is 11B. At time, we only have like a week left. Did heat. Description subject 11B. Here and after Amaranth is a woman of European descent, appears to be in early 20s, typically seen wearing a large red flower that partly obscures her face. Paradimensional capabilities, power to redacted and redacted. Channels redacted via redacted, redacted to redacted, and redacted from redacted. No recorded limits to this redacted. Data limits only to minor events. Subject redacted via tactile contact, which limits redacted of redacted. Possible redacted ramifications. Sightings. November 23rd, 1923. Arkham, MA. Agents witness subject healing wounds of redacted member. Redacted nearby trees. Elevated redacted activity reported in the months following. January 11th, 1924. Lisbon, Portugal. Local cell apprehended subject. Redacted contact confirmed. 1 cell member immediately deceased. Second victim remains catatonic. Subject eluded questioning. Unconfirmed sightings in Marrakesh. Further intel required. Immediate assistance requested. Approach procedure. Subject is incredibly dangerous. Engage only with extreme caution. Physical contact prohibited. More information available in San Francisco office. Oh well. Then, intro. You are jolted awake by the sound of screeching wheels as your train shudders to a stop. Although it is very morning, the heat from the sun rises in shimmering waves from the sweltering pavement to veil Marrakesh in an otherworldly glimmer. Your head pounds. The city wavers like a mirage in the middle of the Moroccan desert. Check the campaign log to see how much time has passed. More than 25. So, we are going to Intro 4. Intro 4. A scent of smoke and decay greets you as you step off the train. You are one of just a handful of people to emerge onto the empty platforms of the railway station. Black, desiccated vines climb up the sides of the surrounding buildings and end in riotous red flowers. An eerie silence hangs over everything. On your way to meet your contact, you pass a few scattered people who walk with a halting, awkward gait. Several of them reach out to you as you keep a wide berth, and you see their skin is jaundiced and dry, and their eyes have a hollow, empty look. A cloud of flies follows in their wake, buzzing incessantly. You are hardly surprised when you find the door to the cafe where you were supposed to meet a Latif boarded up. Tarry death blooms on the walls and storefronts, all hastily barricaded. Fearful eyes peer out at you from between slatted boards. Marrakesh is an utter ruin. After wandering the city, you find the epicenter of the strange black vines lies in the pulverized remains of the Bahi Palace. In the overgrown gardens, you find the remains of a strange ritual, but no trace of those who conducted it. Skip to resolution, page resolution 513. Man, you can auto-fail encounters for taking... I guess it makes sense, but damn, that's poopy. Anyway, 13. Was it resolution 5 we said? Yeah. You find many Latifs listed among the innumerable dead as the city reckons with its losses. Rather than try to find your contact, you take stock of the situation and read over the dossier. You have little doubt that this was the work of the courtier. What Amarath did here claimed thousands of lives and wreaked havoc on a scale you could have scarcely foreseen. Whatever her reasons, she apparently has the ability to bring calamity on an apocalyptic scale. As the people of Marrakesh carry out the grim arithmetic of counting survivors, you use what time you have to help the civilians rebuild. Over the course of many days, the awful vines desiccate and blow away as ash, and the dead are cleansed and wrapped for burial. Despite the devastation, there is a hope for the city to become what it once was, if not even better. With a heavy heart, you prepare to leave. Ew. In your campaign log record, we haven't seen the last of Amarath. Great. She seems deadly. Okay, it's Red Glove, Cormant. What the hell is this dude? Desi, Amarath. Oh, she looks... Okay, 4 people who are chasing us. Then each investigator suffers 1 mental trauma. How dare you? Then each investigator earns 3 bonus experience as they help the survivors rebuild the city. That's nice, I guess. Then Amarath is the bearer of the last blossom. Okay. Mark 1 time your campaign log. You may embark. Okay. Where to next? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 things left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I take the plane ticket to Ravagek, I can potentially find my Twisted Antiprism, go through Stockholm for that thing, go to the Kabul in case the man is there, or go to Tunguska for the final encounter. Let's do it. We're going to use the plane ticket. Travel anywhere on the map. We are going to go to Ravagek and see if we can't find that thingamajig. Okay. So, gather concealed and shuffle them and choose one at random. There is a 50-50, as we've only got the 2 left. Let's see. I swear, if this is a decoy. Hey, we found it. Okay. If it's an enemy's concealed minicar, skip to Ruse and Reclamation 2. You finally narrow down your quarry and find their safe house. Before rushing in, you lay low and wait for the right time to strike. With the element of surprise on your side, you tailor your approach to your foe. Mark 1 time your campaign log. Read only the following section that pertains to your situation. I may not have time to get to the final place. So, it's the Red Glove Man. With a foe as enigmatic and potentially dangerous as the Red Glove Man, perhaps it's best to avoid confrontation altogether. You wait until you spot him leaving the sanctum and then start picking the lock off the same entrance. Only to your surprise, he has left it unlocked. You can almost imagine his blank stare from the shadows, mocking your every move. Does he know you're here? Why steal from you only to hand the stolen objects back to you in a silver platter? In the end, you decide it's best not to look a gift horse in the mouth. After all, you're not about to waste this opportunity. You grab the stolen relic and make your escape, wondering all the while the true motivation of the mysterious man. Update the key section of the campaign log such that the keys that were stolen are returned to their original bearer. Okay, so Amanda, once again, has the Twisted Antiprism. Okay. Then, each investigator earns 1 experience plus 1 additional experience for each tally marked under wrong leads. We each gain 3 experience. Okay, at least we're going to be the bit jacked for the final encounter. Cross off 14C off the remaining campaign logs. Okay, so now we're going to go to... So now we don't have to go to Kabul, which is great. Yeet. So now we're going to go to Stockholm and do the thing with the weird architecture, which is 36L. 36L, strange architecture. We are in Stockholm, so skip to strange architecture 4. The docks bustle with activity as you arrive in Stockholm. Towering dock workers load massive crates of silvery flapping fish into trucks as morning chimes ring in the cool air. With several days until your next departure, you seize the opportunity to explore the city's eclectic culture. Advertisements for a production of a play named Ada's Tinman paper the alleys and stops surrounding Stockholm's largest theater. You follow the cobblestone streets around Stockholm's old towns districts, which the local tells you is called the town between bridges. The winding narrow paths loop in on themselves and cross at odd angles to form a labyrinth of crumbled mustard yellow alleys and worn facades. You pass a row of distinctly painted row houses overlooking the town square. As you sit down and watch locos come and go, you feel a great weight lift from you, if only for a moment. The broad blue sky overhead is clear and cloudless, and the hubbub around you is strangely calming. If the cell appreciated architecture, Strange Architecture 5, which we have in, I don't know, I think it was Shanghai or something. No, it says it right here, Bombay. Okay, so go to 5. As you walk down Shoemaker Street, you pass a familiar sight. Looking up, you see a narrow building with a slate facade, wide black windows, and unsettling accents. You have the distinct feeling you have been here before. You stand still for a moment as others pass you in the narrow alley until you remember the same building in Bombay. If not for the distinct black windows and harsh lines, you might not have remembered it. As you scan the facade, the frieze overhanging the door stands out to you. Where there were various recognizable figures before, you see odd, gangling facsimiles. The features are almost plastic. The smiles are too broad. The eyes seem to bulge. The number 13 is carved next to the door, same as in Bombay. Curious, you step up and turn the doorknob, but it doesn't budge. Knocking on the door produces virtually no sound. Although it looks like wood, it feels solid as concrete. Stopping a passerby, you ask how long the building has been here. What do you mean? This is a very old city. It's always been here, they tell you. You find yourself questioning if the original you saw was even the original. How many other houses look just like this one in how many other cities? The building grows more foreboding the longer you look at it. A shudder courses up your spine, and you decide to leave the building alone. In your campaign log, cross off the cell appreciate architecture. Each investigator gains 2 experience. Nice. We are getting more experience from just goofing around the world than we are by doing encounters. Mark 1 time and embark. Okay. So, we are in Stockholm. 1, 2. Okay, with 2 days to spare, we will get to Tunguska, the site of whatever ritual is going on here. And I will leave that for the next episode. The final showdown in Tunguska, which is Congress of the Keys. We have one. The Claret Knight is an ally, and he also has one. Everything else is held by the Courtier Agency, which is undoubtedly not good. Oh, well. Until next time. Oh, my God. This scenario had zombies. Okay. Until next time, take care.